Hi everyone, just got a quick project, shouldn't take us too long, hopefully not. So my sister's decided she wants a sauna in a garden, similar to what I've got, and she's asked me to build the burner, the heater for our sauna. So she's dropped a big gas bottle off. I've got it's not good, nothing flash because it's just a heater for the sauna. So basically got to cut a door in, put a small flue on and some air vent in the back. Shouldn't take us too long, hopefully it's fairly straightforward. But the first thing is to empty the gas bottle, which I've done, and then get the gas bottle fitting off the top, the brass fitting. And these are, how do I put it, they're a bloody nightmare to get off. So I've already had a quick go on it, it's just starting to go. So I'll get this fitting off, fill it up with water, leave it for a couple of days, and then I can start cutting into it safely, and the knowledge that it won't blow up. That's the plan. So alright, let's go and get this fitting off. Tell you what, that was one of the easier ones. Sometimes they can be a bit stubborn and they'll just smash and break off, but with it being a newer bottle, I think that was one of the easier ones. So, whew. Right, got the gas bottle. I almost have a door marked up. I'll be cutting this shortly and watch us cut into it for the first time. Hope it doesn't go poof in a big blue explosion. It'll be alright. I'm going to try and talk a little bit more through my videos. I've had a comment that maybe I'm not talking enough. You try telling me gaffers that at work. But hey-oh, apparently I need to start talking a little bit more through my videos. So I'll try that. This is all new to me, remember. So anyway, I'll show you how I've marked up this door. I've took a piece of A4 paper. I'm currently sticking it on. Just keep it square, because with it being round, it's difficult to mark a square door. So I use something like a piece of A4 paper. Gives us a rough idea where I need to be. And then I'm going to cut it with my angle grinder. And the reason I'm using my angle grinder, not my plasma, again, I get the plasma's easier, it's quicker, it's cheaper, but I don't get a cleanest cut with my angle grinder. I'm using a 1mm cutting disc. I can get a very fine cut. So yeah, here we go, let's give it its first cut. Now, I quickly wanted to show you something. Whoa! So, like I keep saying it before, one man's junk is another man's treasure, and that's bit what I'm doing here. We've got an old gas bottle, some bits of old pipe, and we're making a heater for the sauna. However, so this is for my youngest sister, Sarah. Sister Sarah, Clint Eastwood film. But I've got 3 lovely sisters and a lovely brother. One of my other sisters, our Linda, asked us the other day if I wanted some of this, a piece of junk of our old barbecue. And I thought, yes, I do. And I'll tell you why. That'll come in handy for holding the rocks on top of this burner. So the idea was the sauna, you heat the rocks, you splash a bit of water on, the rocks have retained the heat and they give off the steam in the sauna. So this is what she gave us. I'll quickly show you. Look at that. It's not an old diver's helmet, if that's what you're thinking. Although it does look like one, doesn't it? I like that. I could have turned that into a diver's helmet. Hey! Well, it's a top of an old chimney, and the idea is I'm gonna put it on top of this wood burner to hold the rocks. You'll get a lot of rocks in it because it's quite big. If I dump that on there, I'll give you a quick look. So obviously needs a bit of fabrication, but I can get that on top of there to hold the rocks. Should be all right. A little bit of work, bit of fabrication, bit of welding. Job's a good one. Morning everyone, just finished a late shift. Well, I finished last night. I'm long been out of bed, brushed my teeth, straight back in the workshop. On the theme that I'm not taught enough through my videos, that's what I've been told. I need to talk a little bit more through my videos. I'm going to try and do a segment every now and again in a video. A top tip segment, because I done one the other day on drill bits and people commented, oh, I didn't know you could get cobalt drill bits, never heard of them. So I thought, oh, I sometimes take stuff for granted, so I'm going to show you some, in future videos, some top tips, stuff I've learned, stuff I take for granted that you might not understand, and hopefully it helps you out. Hopefully it helps you build something, make something, use some tooling. So I'm going to call this segment, we'll call it Little Gooey's Big Juicy Tips. Little Gooey's Big Juicy Tips. Gooey's my nickname when I was younger at school. There's not many people calls it now. There's a lad at work, Charlie, big shout out Charlie. He always shouts out, "Oh, Gooey lad," as I'm walking across the floor, shop floor. And I love it. So my brother's Big Gooey, I'm Little Gooey, and we're going to call this segment, I've got to get this right, Little Gooey's Big Juicy Tips. Aye. So this week's Little Gooey's Big Juicy Tips is going to be on angle grinders. So I don't know whether you notice when I'm using angle grinders, I never really touch on them. I just pick them up, use them. They're actually my most favourite tool in the workshop. absolutely love them. They're just so versatile. They're a little bit dangerous, but once you've overcome that and you've got the confidence to handle them, what a great tool. Absolutely love them. You'll probably notice, I can't know whether you can see them there in the background, I have 4 angle grinders. Why 4, you ask? Why, primarily it is just time saving, changing discs. I don't have to swap discs over, having the main discs, the discs I'm using all the time. Why 4? You can probably get away with 2 with that. So I have 2 cordless grinders and 2 electric grinders. The cordless grinders are so versatile because the cordless you can walk around, you can take them, I can run to the top of the garden. If someone's getting stuck in the tree and they need us to cut through a rusty sheriff's badge, I can run up there with the cutting disc. No cords, no cables. So that's me cordless angle grinder by Einhell. It's a German company. Really good make. I've had one maybe 10 year, and this one maybe 5 year. Something along them lines, 3 year, I don't know, something like that. So like I say, because cordless you can take them anywhere, you can wander off. But also they have a soft start function, which enables us, because I'm recording a lot of the time, I'm maybe holding my camera, or I'm holding a piece of steel I'm wanting to cut. They have a soft start on these, so if I don't know, see that? You see that? It's called a soft start, so as soon as I turn it on, it's a gentle start. Not violent or anything. And also I can do it with one hand. Well, I can hold it with one hand. Yeah. That allows us to cut with one hand. Because they're not so violent, they also have a overload protection. So if I'm cutting something, if I'm asking it to do too much, it'll stop. Sometimes you'll see us cutting and everything's in high speed when you see us doing that type of thing. You'll see us cutting and it'll stop and I'll start it again, it'll stop. It's because I'm asking it to do too much. And generally the cordless angle grinders do have that overload function. But the good thing is, because of that and because they're not overly violent, still dangerous, I can cut with them with one hand. Cordless angle. So I've went and getting me corded angle grinder. Slightly different beast. Quite dangerous. Generally don't have a soft start. All the electric ones I've had, and I've had a few because they do burn out. I've probably just had 10 electric ones and burnt them out over the years. Because they don't have a soft start, they can jump. So if you're not holding it properly, they can jump and shock out your hand, and that's where they become dangerous. Also, because I haven't got a soft start, whenever I use angle grinders, I always look after my eyes. I'm going to put my safety glasses on just for this and show you how these can jump. Whether you saw that, no soft start, it literally kicks in, full chat, and it'll jump, it'll kick. Also, there's no overload on these, so if it jams, it'll jam, it'll kick. So you've got to be more careful with electric angle grinder. But the good thing is they're a beast. I make these work. I don't mess around with them. If it's something needs grinding, something needs cutting, I'll make these work for the money. You can press on them, you can push, and they do graft. I love a good electric grinder. So yeah, you'll see the kit again. Bit more difficult to hold with one hand, but I do have powerful forearm. Just like from there to there, just dead muscly in that one arm and powerful. And I don't know why. Anyway, yeah, that's an electric angle grinder. I don't really notice all my grinders have the guard on. I hate seeing people use them without a guard. I just think they're so dangerous. They're a finger lockerer. They'll tap your fingers off. So all my angle grinders have the guard. Very, very rarely take the guard off. Only if I'm using something like a wire brush or a different disc or tooling in it that requires the guard off. That's the only time I ever remove the guard. I always keep my guard on. So now I'm going to touch on the discs that go in the grinder itself, because there's different types. Oh, I haven't gotten a grinder one out. There's one in there. So I've got a couple ready to show you, and I'll give you a quick chat on them before we conclude. Little gooeys, big juicy tips. Yeah. So you see us using these ones quite frequently. This is a cutting disc, ultra thin stainless steel cutting disc. They're 1mm thick. Can you see that? They're only 1mm thick, and they're great for just cutting through steel, cutting through stuff like that. They're quick. They're quite accurate. They're neat. A little bit dusty. You get dust all over your workshop off them. I don't want to see that. But that's a cutting disc. You've got to be careful with them because they can shatter. I've never had one shatter on us because I treat them right. No bending, no extra strain. So that's a cutting disc. I haven't got a grinding. Have I got a grinding disc handy? That's a cutting disc. Let's see. There's a grinding disc. Grinding disc already in the grinder. So similar to a cutting disc, it's just a lot thicker. Now these is for grinding material away, moving material, moving excess material that you don't need. They're pretty strong disc. You can put a lot of weight on them. You can press, push. Yeah, that's a grinding disc for metal. You can get cutting discs for stone as well. It'll cut stone and concrete. Same for the grinding disc. You can get grinding discs that'll cut stone and concrete. Now this is called a flap wheel. Absolutely love these. These is like a high intensity sanding disc, and when they're brand new, when you've got a brand new one like that in your angle grinder, oh, so nice. They just remove so much material, less violent than the grinding disc. Leaves a lovely finish, and they're just so smooth. But when they start to wear down, you go through them pretty quick. You've got to replace them. Yeah, I love a nice new flap disc in my grinder. And here we have a wire brush cup. That'll be the time when I take the guard off the grinder, if I'm using one of them, and I'm going to be using one shortly to remove all the rust on here. You need eye protection with them. These little metal bristles that you see on here, they fling out at high speed. They end up buried in your top, stabbing you. You get different types. I've got that one. There's a one there, and there's a one there. It's a bit more violent. Depend what you need them for. But yeah, you do need your safety glasses on with them, because they do chuck shards of metal at you. Very dangerous. And this is a grinding disc for wood. So you put in an angle grinder, and you can see it has these edges, and it's for shaping and grinding wood. Very good. They really cut into the wood. And I think that's pretty much it with the angle grinders. So yeah, if you're going to do a bit of grinding, it's nice to have two angle grinders so you don't have to change the discs out all the time. It's nice to have a cordless angle grinder for smaller jobs and jobs where you need to leave the workshop and you don't have to run a cable. Like I say, one of my most favourite tools. I've just spotted this. This is a very this is called a chainsaw disc for the angle grinder. I don't know if you can see that. So it's got the the teeth of a chainsaw. Again, for shaping and carving wood. But I think these got banned because they're very dangerous. I don't like using it. It is a bit scary. I prefer to use that one. You just think if that chain comes off, that chain jams, you're in trouble, like. But yeah, I think they got banned, but I occasionally use it. Very dangerous. Me no likey. Me no likey. I'll put that back. So yeah, that's angle grinders. Davey's top tip. Best tool in the workshop. Hope I helped you understand how the cutting disc works, the grinding discs work. Always wear your safety protection. Generally, if I'm doing a lot of grinding, I'll put this on because of the dust. Gets up your nostrils and you get black snot and everything. I even put my ear protection on because of the noise off them. But yeah, angle grinder, my most favourite tool. And I hope you've enjoyed this segment of Little Gooey's Juicy Big Tips. Right, let's get back onto this graft. Here's another one of them examples of one man's junk is another man's treasure. So this is, can you see that? Centre section of a 2001 Mini Cooper exhaust section. Didn't throw it away, kept it. And I'm going to use that section of pipe there to make the air intake on the rear of the burner, so it doesn't draw the air from the sauna itself. It draws the fresh air for the fire from outside. So yeah, that piece of pipe there probably cost us a £5 or a £10 if I was to go and buy something a metre long. Well, it's not quite a metre long what I'm needing, but because I kept this piece of scrap, saved myself a bit money. Alright folks, so I've gotten most of the parts cut, ready to weld. I should be able to do a lot of welding back to back without having to stop and go and get other parts and stuff, so I'm pretty much ready to weld. Something you'll probably notice is when I am welding, I'm not doing a continuous weld. You'll see is it's in high speed for you guys, but you'll see is stop starting with the trigger. And the trouble I've got is I'm not fabricating with nice clean new steels and box section that are the same thickness where I can do a continuous weld. Sometimes, like in this case here, I'm welding the flue on, which is probably 1 mil. It's a little bit rusty. I've had to take some rust off, and I'm trying to weld the 1 mil steel to the 2 mil gauge steel on the bottle itself, on the gas bottle, and it's difficult to get the parameters right on the welder. So I've got to set the welder up, get the weld speed right, the power right, and because I'm welding these two different gauge steels and the rusty and the gaps aren't fantastic, if I just do a continuous weld, there's a good chance I'm going to get burned through. I've burned big holes in. So because I'm welding with refurbished steels with gaps and different thicknesses, I've got a spot weld all the way around. It just stops it overheating me weld and burning through, and I get a feel for it. Sometimes I think, oh, I can do a continuous weld here. There's a good gap, there's good bits of steel. So that's why you see us spot welding all the time. In case there's any welders out there, you'll probably know, if I've got 2 bits of clean box section or 2 bits of clean angle line, I can do a good weld, continuous weld. But with stuff like this, I spot weld and get a feel for it and listen to it, basically so I don't get burned through. Yeah, and that's why I do that. So anyway, let's crack on, see if we can get this welded up. Right then, got to light this burner now. It's all welded together. Get it lit, see how it burns, and burn the paint off so I can get it painted. And it'll also give us an idea of how it burns. So here we go. Smoke it. So that's all the paint burning off, which is good. Get painted with heat resistant paint after that. It's nearly done. That's fucking red hot that way. All done, folks. A nice little sauna heater for my sister. It's simple but functional, and it hasn't took us too long. So I'll give you a quick look, and then maybe when my sister's got it installed in our sauna, I can go over and have a quick look and get a little video for you. Yeah, so I'll show you all done. Hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, good one.